the answers, I change the question.
Rep screwed rep.
Yeah. Woo!
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it?
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for... It's me, Austin. I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling video game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available exclusively through Facebook. Create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, build your own corporation. You can even create your own PLEs, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable, available now to all Facebook users, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like my good buddy John in Texas, then check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. Don't forget we have loyalty rewards. Any $15 a month contributor, you can co-host a live episode with myself. $7.50 a month contributors, you get entered into a drawing to also co-host a live episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. We'll be taking questions, comments, touching on the day's news and rumors. But if you want to give us something for the next episode, something for us to address down the line, give us a shout at the Fro Wrestling Sound Off line 267-642-1160, and we will get to those in a future episode. Today's episode, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to start with WWE news. The WWE Universal Championship has officially been retired. It's an interesting situation. It was created to essentially bring back a championship to a multiple brands back when they reintroduced the brand split, originally going to Finn Balor, who ended up relinquishing it the next night due to a shoulder injury. That's when we had the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. It kind of replaced the World Heavyweight Championship we had previously that had the old-fashioned big gold belt from WCW days. Then, as time goes on, as you know, Roman Reigns unifies the Universal and WWE Championships, and that's fine for a hot minute, but when Roman has such a limited schedule, WWE brings in the World Heavyweight Championship, returns that to the company, and now we ended up having 3 World Championships, if you think about it. When Cody defeats Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, the question kind of hovered over the air. What is going on with the Universal Championship? We refer to it as the Undisputed WWE Championship now. So what is the deal with the Universal? Well, it was just made official on WWE.com. And if you want to look it up on Wikipedia and things of that nature, that the title has been retired, with Roman Reigns being the last recognized champion and Cody being recognized as the Undisputed WWE Championship. So not even giving him a Universal Championship reign to go with his win over Roman last year. That leaves us with the WWE Undisputed Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship we have now, and kind of wraps up the potential history for the Universal Championship. So a lot of craziness with that in a world where wrestling companies tend to add championships like crazy. This is them reducing a little bit, even though it wasn't something we saw regularly defended anymore ever since Roman Reigns unified the two. Moving on from there, we had conversation in a previous episode about why Lex Luger missed WrestleMania Night 1, the Hall of Fame introductions, and it came out on the Ariel Helwani show that he had issues after the night that he had being inducted. There's actually a quote from him that says, "It's wild how the stuff catches fire. With everything that happened, by Saturday morning, I could barely get out of bed. I called the guys and they were really cool about it. They said, we'd love to have you down here. Let's see how you feel later in the day. But by the afternoon, it was clear I wasn't going to make it." It's really a shame because it would have been nice for, as I said the other day, for Lex Luger to get that pop from 60+ thousand people honoring his legacy that he left behind, all his contributions to the business. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to do that, but it is still a thrill for me as a huge Lex Luger fan to see him finally get some of that respect that he deserves. Often underappreciated, certainly early in his career, but as his career went on, he really did evolve into a fantastic performer, and I love that he finally got the kudos for doing that. On the Pat McAfee show today, little conversation with The Rock, having a conversation about why he wasn't a part of the WrestleMania main event. And he basically, and here's my problem with The Rock's situation right now, right? He doesn't think things through. You return at Elimination Chamber, you get involved in the John Cena heel turn, and basically his conversation is all about him making the call not to be involved, letting the final boss character kind of go by the wayside for now so that the spotlight focuses on John Cena and on Cody Rhodes. And I understand that. Then you don't come back at Elimination Chamber as the final boss with Travis Scott and then not show up at Mania. He's the one who created that dynamic. Instead, you could have just had John Cena turn heel and not have The Rock be a part of any of it. Now, he feels like right now the final boss's work is done, I think is the quote that he used. But at the end of the day, he was concerned about the crossover with his movie shooting projects and things of that nature. He spoke to both talent ahead of time. They apparently were understanding of what was going on. But he doesn't know where the storyline would have gone if he would have been a part of WrestleMania. Well, I am not a booker for a major professional wrestling promotion. I haven't been in the business for as long as The Rock. Certainly don't have the experience of The Rock. But even I can look at that situation and say, it doesn't matter. Anything he would have done for that main event finish would have been better. And if you weren't going to be there, then Travis Scott shouldn't have been there. Because the only reason Travis Scott was there was because of The Rock. Let's be honest. That's why he came out of the Elimination Chamber. He came out with The Rock. So it's essentially like he was there for The Rock by proxy, which means you didn't really pull yourself out of the storyline with Travis Scott being there. You should not have had Travis Scott, or The Rock and Travis Scott never should have gotten involved in this from the beginning. And look, The Rock needs to either be in or be out on storylines. This showing up at Bad Blood last year, doing the throat slit, the 1, 2, 3, and people right away jumping on that. Oh, we're going to have a three-way at Mania between The Rock and Roman and Cody. And that didn't come to fruition, but instead we got a different three-way. Then it was he's coming, he's going to be the final boss in John Cena's corner for WrestleMania. And then he doesn't show up there. And now it looks like he's not going to be around for quite a while. So I get it. I understand what he's saying. But at the end of the day, what are we doing here? This is a professional organization. These are people who tons of the fans were dying to see him walk out, and then he doesn't. So when you look at his filming schedule, I'm concerned we're not going to see him next year either. If you look at what he's got planned, he's got stuff running right through WrestleMania season. So there's so much that he set up that we have no follow-through on. There's no follow-through on him and Cody and their issue. There's no follow-through on this John Cena heel turn. Any of that stuff. He literally took off his weightlifting belt and put Cody's blood all over it at the Elimination Chamber again. And then there's no follow-up. That is a horrible way to end a storyline for the year. He needed to be involved. This was, I get it. He's giving an excuse. It is not a good one. It is absolutely ridiculous. Another tidbit before we get into the Raw response, because Raw was incredible last night. Kathy Kelly, a WWE broadcast personality. She does interviews. Apparently, she has been training at the WWE Performance Center for an in-ring debut. That should be interesting. We're not sure how far along she is. There's very few details out there. She used to be with AfterBuzz TV, where she would review Raw and NXT. WWE hired her in 2016, but now she's a regular on the show, and it sounds like she's going to pursue some dreams and become potentially an in-ring talent. Kudos to her. I hope she does well with it. We'll have to wait and see how that shakes out. And finally tonight, let's get into the real news of the day. Let's talk about WWE Monday Night Raw, the Raw After Mania, and all the events and things that went down. Some good, some bad, some in between. Let's start with John Cena. He opens the show addressing the fans, and I was disappointed. I know some people loved it. I was disappointed because the man the night before during a press conference said if you tuned into Raw, he was going to explain how he was going to ruin wrestling. Walking away as a champion and creating a vacancy doesn't ruin anything. And how much of a moron do you have to be to think that because you walked away from a company still as champion, what if somebody retired as champion any other time? It didn't ruin the championship then, and people have retired with championships. And the championship that he brought up the fact, the championship that Bruno had and stuff like that, and Bret Hart, that he was walking away with that championship. It's no different. Okay? That championship has been vacated many times in the past. And you know what? It's still the same lineage. So no, he's not the last WWE undisputed champion. They will have some kind of way to fill that if that were to happen. But in the meantime, I suspect he's not going to carry that belt to his retirement anyways. Love the fact that Randy Orton appears and takes out John Cena. The only thing I don't like is I actually think Orton should have possibly been the one to take the title from Cena. I really do, and I would have done that at the end of the year if I was going to do it at all. Now, I've gone on record on this podcast before and said the same thing, that John Cena should retire as champion and then put the championship on the line at the Royal Rumble to get rid of some of the letdown about Royal Rumble winners not main eventing Mania. If you make the Royal Rumble for the championship, then clearly that person will main event Mania because they'll be the champion. But we'll have to see how that plays out. I don't suspect Cena is going to retire as champion. We follow that up with a tag team championship rematch for the women, with Liv and Raquel Rodriguez regaining the women's tag team championship from Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. A little fast for me. Don't know why you took the belt off unless you just wanted to get that pop at WrestleMania for Becky, only to go the next night, take the belts off them, and then shockingly have Becky turn on Valkyria. You just had all the seeds planted for a Bayley feud with Lyra, and now all of a sudden you're inserting Becky into the equation. We've been told, of course, the dirt sheets say that Bayley is not actually injured, which would imply that she'll be back quickly, so she could have picked up with her feud for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and instead now you have Becky in the mix. Does Bayley come back and realign with Lyra? Does she then feud with Becky? Where do we go from here? Does Becky win the championship from Lyra and then have a feud over the Intercontinental Championship with Bayley? I don't know. Did you lose confidence in Lyra? Too many questions. I don't like it. Good thing for Liv and Raquel, 4-time tag team champions. That's great, but I don't like the speed. I think it just takes away from the Mania moment. It makes it look like you got cheap pops, you know? The New Day come out. They're having a moment to bask in the glory of winning their tag team championship. They are interrupted by Akira Tozawa and Otis, accompanied by Maxine Dupree. They want a rematch. The last time they were in the ring together, they beat the New Day in 60 seconds, and it looked like it was going to be an exciting first match for them. And then we see the return of Rusev, who comes out and basically obliterates Otis and Akira Tozawa. Great to see him. He looked like he was in the best shape of his career. He is jacked. He is ripped. Push him to the stars. He's amazing. My favorite thing of the night, Io Sky in the ring celebrating winning her match for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, and then interrupted by Stephanie Vaquer, the NXT Women's Champion, talking about how she wants to challenge the best in the world. That is a dream match, and I love what WWE did here. They gave us a sample of what they could do together, and somewhere down the line, maybe years from now, maybe a year from now, we're going to see these two lock up again. But for now, no winner, disqualification, as we see an attack by Roxanne Perez and then followed up by an attack by Julia and a save from Rhea Ripley. A moment where Ripley clearly was showing some respect to Io Sky. I really wish she would have shaken her hand, held her hand up, and maybe embraced her, but I'm not the booker again. But I did like this segment. I don't know if this means that Julia, Vaquer, and Roxanne are all on the main roster, if this was a one-night-only thing. I think it left some blurry lines. We'll have to wait and see. But all three clearly can hold their own on the main roster. What I actually thought was the most interesting tease coming out of this was Rhea Ripley and Julia. That looked awesome. It was clear that those two are going to have to mix it up at some point. I can't wait for that. That's going to be amazing. Jey Uso came out to celebrate his championship win. Almost looks a little subdued. Didn't really want to do the yeet the way he usually does. And then Sami Zayn returns, and he comes out to congratulate him. And I'm going to be like a lot of fans were. At one moment, Sami Zayn is in a corner celebrating, doing yeet chants with Jey Uso, and then he steps down and he's behind Jey. And I think in that moment, many of us thought Sami Zayn is turning on Jey Uso. This is going to be the first feud. But then a few moments later, Jimmy Uso's music hits. He comes out and the three of them celebrate together. I think it was a beautiful way to plant the seeds for something that could happen later. And I think we all are expecting to see that at some point. We come back from break and Gunther is at ringside. He's trying to intimidate Michael Cole for his commentary, talking about him tapping out and things of that nature. Cole stands up for himself, says he has to report the news, and then Gunther pushes Pat McAfee, and he attacks Michael Cole, starts choking Michael Cole. McAfee jumps to action. He attacks Gunther, hits him, knocks him off Cole, and when he turns around, Gunther attacks Pat McAfee and chokes him out. I don't know if this is setting something up for Gunther and McAfee. I don't know if this is a way for McAfee to bring in some help to represent him, and that's where we get Goldberg again. I'm not sure where we're going with this, but for some reason I enjoyed all of it. Joe Tessitore ended up taking over on commentary afterwards. McAfee supposedly went to a medical facility, and we had Michael Cole get back on commentary, shaken and rattled from what went down with Gunther, talking repeatedly about needing to work in a safe space. Not a big fan of the Dominic Mysterio Penta Intercontinental Championship match, simply for the fact that I am tired of seeing Penta lose already. This is what some people feared about AEW talent coming to WWE. You're just going to make them lose. And that seems to be what they're starting to do. I get it. Penta's had some wins. But at WrestleMania weekend, neither he nor Rey Fenix won their matches. And for me, that's a little bit of an issue. You don't follow it up on Raw with Penta losing again. Are you building his momentum or not? And where was Braun in all this? He loses the Intercontinental Championship. He's just good with it. He's just okay with it. I have a problem with that as well. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then we have Seth Rollins come out, have his conversation at the end of the night with Paul Heyman. Heyman wearing the yellow tie to match Seth's yellow outfit. You knew it was going to happen. They had shown video footage earlier of CM Punk entering the building. CM Punk comes out, fights with Rollins, kicks him and stomps him into the corner. He goes to go after Heyman, who then he gets attacked from behind, rake in the eyes, and a foot stomp from Seth Rollins. It brings out the Tribal Chief. The OTC hits the ring. Roman Reigns is cleaning house, hits a spear. Superman punch to Paul Heyman. It looks like Heyman is done for. And then, out of nowhere, a hooded gentleman, it turns out to be Braun Breaker, who I was just speaking about, who just must be okay with losing the Intercontinental Championship, comes out and spears Roman Reigns. Love that part. Absolutely love it. Push Braun to the moon. Then, in what I thought was beautiful photography, Braun looks like he's going to spear Seth Rollins and runs past him and spears CM Punk. As that goes down, Rollins turns around, embraces Braun Breaker from behind, and makes it obvious the two are aligned. Paul Heyman closing the show, holding both hands up in pride. Obviously, a new stable has been created, and I think it is a very good thing for Braun Breaker. And I love that it looks as though Seth Rollins is going to be using this as a way to help a new generation of talent get over, and I absolutely love it. I'm a huge Braun Breaker fan. I can't wait to see what they do with this. That's all the time we have for this episode, but check back with us next episode where we'll run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, go out to Suno AI. They create all the music and sound effects that we use in our shows. Today's show sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with Sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and pick up your copy today. And special thanks as always to 3WA, the Worldwide Wrestling Alliance out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, putting on a great show this Saturday night, April 26th at the Quakertown Farmers Market. Check it out. Support indie wrestling. They have a quality product. Thank you, as always, to everybody at 3WA for supporting the Fro Wrestling Podcast. We always appreciate everything you do. A great, great group of people. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college or university life, maybe you need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life educational planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night.